There is this incredibly romantic image we all have of starting an e-commerce
Oh,
business.
absolutely. The classic kitchen table startup.
Right. You launch the store, the very first order dings on your phone, and you proudly pack that first box right there on your kitchen island. I mean, it feels amazing. It's tangible proof that your idea actually works in the real world.
But, and this is a big but, fast forward 6 months, and the reality of that success starts to set in.
Yeah, the living room looks like a recycling center.
Exactly. Your store is growing, but your evenings are just completely disappearing into a mountain of tape and cardboard mailers. And quietly, without you even realizing it, packing orders has become this invisible ceiling on your entire operation.
And that is exactly the moment founders start frantically Googling fulfillment centers. They want a warehouse to take the problem away. So today we are tearing into a really comprehensive breakdown called 3PL versus in-house fulfillment for Shopify, the break-even math.
It's a great source. Really gets into the weeds.
Our mission today is to figure out precisely when you should stop taping boxes yourself and hand the keys over to a third-party logistics provider. We are going to crack the exact mathematical code for that tipping point.
And to find that tipping point, we have to address the biggest blind spot in e-commerce. Because before we can even look at what a warehouse is going to charge us, we first have to brutally, honestly calculate what we are paying ourselves to do it right now.
Okay, my immediate pushback there is, well, I'm not paying myself anything. Like, if I'm packing these boxes in my spare bedroom, it's free, right? I'm not writing myself a paycheck for warehouse labor.
And that is the ultimate trap. It artificially makes in-house fulfillment look infinitely scalable. To find the true cost of packing an order in-house, you need a specific formula.
Okay, let's unpack this. What's the formula?
You calculate your labor time, so the minutes it takes to pack a box divided by 60, multiplied by an hourly rate. Then you add your packaging materials, and finally, any extra workspace rent you're paying.
Let's tackle the materials and the space first, because the rent variable seems tricky. I mean, if I'm operating out of my guest room, I'm paying my mortgage, regardless of whether there are boxes in there. Adding bubble wrap to the guest room doesn't generate a new out-of-pocket expense.
Right, which means your workspace cost in that specific scenario is strictly zero.
Oh, really? Just zero?
Just zero. You only factor in rent if it's an expense you would genuinely shed by outsourcing. Like, if you're leasing a separate commercial lockup just for inventory and moving to a 3PL lets you terminate that lease, then you count it. Otherwise, space is zero.
Okay, so space is zero, but the materials definitely cost something.
They do. The source data provides a benchmark from OpenSend, showing that packaging usually runs between 50 cents and $2 an order.
And I'm guessing that covers the corrugated box, the tape, the thermal label, all of that.
Yep, plus any void fill. Which leaves us with the most controversial variable, the labor cost. Valuing your own time at zero is just a fundamental misunderstanding of opportunity cost.
It's like cooking a lavish 5-course meal at home and claiming the dinner was completely free just because you didn't pay yourself a professional chef's salary.
That's a perfect way to put it.
You still spent 4 highly active hours in the kitchen.
Right, and those are 4 hours you didn't spend on product development or analyzing your ad spend, negotiating with suppliers, or honestly simply resting so you don't burn out.
Yeah, sleep is important.
It really is. So the benchmark provided in the research is critical here. To do this math honestly, you have to value your packing time at the market rate for that specific labor.
Which is what, exactly?
Well, according to the 2025 ONET and Bureau of Labor Statistics data, the median wage for warehouse-type labor is $19.35 an hour.
Okay, but wait. What if I genuinely enjoy tacking orders? Like, what if I just do it at 11 o'clock at night while I'm watching Netflix? In my mind, that functionally makes it zero cost because I wouldn't be doing high-value marketing strategy at midnight anyway.
Yeah, sure. And that logic holds up for the first 50 orders. But as your business scales, the physical volume will inevitably outpace your Netflix time.
That's fair.
You cannot scale an operation on midnight side hustle energy. Eventually, it bleeds into your core working hours. Using that $19.35 yardstick forces you to look at the business as a separate entity from your own personal endurance.
So we anchor our in-house labor at roughly $19 an hour. Now we have a realistic, hard dollar figure. The next step is comparing it to a 3PL quote. But, and I've looked at these, reading a 3PL pricing sheet is like navigating a maze blindfolded.
It's incredibly opaque. It isn't just one flat fee per order, it's a layered stack of fees. First, you have the receiving fee for inbound stock. For example, they might charge around $14.25 per pallet just to unload your goods from the freight truck.
I assume that receiving fee exists because warehouses operate on strict standardization, right? Like if I back a truck up to their dock filled with loose, unlabeled boxes of mixed products, I'm destroying their workflow.
Oh, completely. They have to charge a premium to sort and palletize your chaos before it even reaches a shelf. You're paying for the labor required to ingest your inventory into their digital tracking system.
Makes sense. And once it's shelved, you get hit with storage fees.
Exactly. The source gives some rough estimates, like $5 a month for a small bin, $10 for a shelf, or $40 for a full pallet.
And then comes the actual transaction fee, right? The pick and pack.
Yes, pulling the item off the shelf and boxing it up, that usually ranges from 20 cents to over $2 per order, plus a small incremental charge if a customer buys multiple items and the worker has to walk to 3 different aisles.
Right. And we should clarify, this math applies strictly to standard parcel fulfillment boxes that easily fit in a courier van. If you're selling like custom dining tables or cast iron kettlebells, this goes out the window.
Right, once items cross roughly 150 pounds, you're playing an entirely different LTL freight game.
Yeah.
But for standard parcels, the text issues a massive warning.
Let me guess. Hidden fees.
Yes. There are 2 hidden fees that almost no 3PL publishes on their public pricing pages: the postage markups and the return handling fees.
It's like buying a concert ticket online. The advertised price looks amazing until you get to the checkout and get hit with a service fee that doubles the cost.
Yeah.
But how can they just hide the postage markup? For a lot of businesses, shipping is the single most expensive part.
What's fascinating here is that they aren't necessarily being deceptive. Postage pricing is dictated by dimensional weight and shipping zones. A warehouse literally cannot offer a flat public rate because they don't know if you're shipping a dense 2-pound set of metal coasters to a neighboring state or a massive, fluffy, lightweight pillow across the country.
Because couriers charge based on the physical space the box takes up in the airplane.
Exactly. Not just what it weighs on a scale. So the 3PL negotiates their own bulk carrier rates based on those dimensions, marks them up slightly, and passes them to you. They had to quote it privately.
And returns are the same way.
Yeah, returns are incredibly manual. A worker has to open the box, inspect the item, decide if it can be resold, and rebin it. It varies wildly by product.
Which means the biggest takeaway here for anyone listening, get these 2 numbers in writing before you ever sign a contract.
Absolutely.
Okay, we have our true in-house cost utilizing that $19 benchmark, and we have the 3PL's stack of fees. Let's run the specific mathematical scenario from the text to see who actually wins. They use an example of a store shipping 300 orders a month, right?
Let's walk through it. On the in-house side, assume it takes 12 minutes to pack one order. That includes finding the box, printing the label, dealing with the tape, all of it. 12 minutes at our $19.35 hourly rate is $3.87.
Plus the materials. We'll use $1.25 in packaging costs and $0 for extra rent. So that brings the true in-house cost to $5.12 per order.
Now the 3PL side. Let's say their pick and pack fee is $2. Your storage footprint costs $40 a month, and they require a monthly minimum billing of $275.
Wait, so even if I sell nothing that month, I owe them $275?
Correct. Just to keep your account active and your inventory on their shelves. But with 300 orders, your total raw fulfillment costs easily clear that floor.
Got it.
When you spread the pick and pack, the storage, and the receiving fees across those 300 orders, the total cost lands at just $2.13 per order.
$2.13 outsourced versus $5.12 in-house. Wow. At 300 orders a month, the 3PL is the undisputed winner. You're saving nearly $896 a month.
But, and this is crucial, the dynamic completely flips if your volume drops. That monthly minimum is a fixed cost. If you had a slow season and only shipped 20 orders, you're still on the hook for that $275 minimum.
Here's where it gets really interesting. If I divide that minimum by 20 orders, I'm paying nearly $14 per order just in fulfillment fees.
Right, which would obliterate the margin on almost any standard product.
So it all hinges on a single mathematical tipping point.
Exactly. For this specific numerical scenario, the crossover point where the 2 lines intersect is roughly 54 orders a month. Below 54, you pack. Above 54, outsource.
But the irony is that this break-even point isn't actually dictated by the 3PL's price list, is it? It's mostly manipulated by how much the founder values their own hour.
You nailed it. If a founder stubbornly insists their time is only worth the federal minimum wage, or zero, the in-house cost artificially plummets on their spreadsheet.
Which shifts the break-even point way upward.
Mm.
They end up convincing themselves they need to hit like 1,000 orders a month before outsourcing makes sense.
Yep, they artificially inflate the runway of a broken fulfillment model by subsidizing the business with their own underpaid labor.
Okay, so the math is clean and logical, but reality isn't. What happens when the math says outsource, but your product relies on a highly customized, branded unboxing experience? Like, if my brand identity requires a wax seal and a handwritten note in every box, a high-speed warehouse isn't going to do that, right?
Right, the calculator only sees financial efficiency. The source text actually outlines 5 non-financial signals that should influence this decision: order volume, custom packaging or kitting, the founder's available time, geographic reach, and cash on hand for onboarding.
Let's talk about that last one. Why is cash on hand a barrier if we just proved outsourcing saves money?
Because transitioning requires an upfront capital injection. You have to pay onboarding deposits, freight costs to move your inventory to their facility, and crucially, your inventory is frozen and unsellable while it's in transit.
Ouch. Yeah, you need the cash reserves to survive that gap, and the custom kitting signal directly fights the efficiency model too, doesn't it?
It does. 3PLs optimize for standardization and speed. Intricate unboxing experiences slow down their lines, so they'll either refuse to do it or they'll charge an exorbitant hourly rate to tie your branded ribbons.
So what's the solution when the financial and non-financial signals completely conflict?
The hybrid approach. Outsourcing is rarely an all-or-nothing game.
Wait, isn't running a hybrid model just doubling your headaches? Now you're managing a warehouse and your own packing bench simultaneously.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, it actually doesn't double the headache because modern platforms automate the split. You send your standard, fast-moving SKUs to the 3PL, and you keep the custom, fragile, or highly personalized items in-house.
Or using them for seasonal spikes, like just sending them stock for the Black Friday overflow so you don't have to lease your own massive warehouse for the whole year.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And to clarify quickly, there's a difference between a 3PL and dropshipping. With a 3PL, you own the inventory and take the risk. With dropshipping, your supplier owns and ships it. We are strictly talking 3PL here.
Got it. So knowing that a hybrid model is possible leads us to the final hurdle, Shopify mechanics. How do we pull the digital levers to make this switch without accidentally crashing our store?
Well, a 3PL plugs into a Shopify store simply by acting as a new fulfillment location in your settings. And usefully, these third-party app locations don't count against your subscription plan's built-in location limits.
Oh, that's a nice perk. So paid orders just automatically route to it.
Exactly.
I do want to ask about SFN, the Shopify Fulfillment Network. Is that still a thing? Some people think it's Shopify's own physical warehouse.
It's definitely still a thing, but it is not Shopify's own warehouse. It acts as an API connector app to vetted 3PL's companies like Flexport, ShipBob, ShipFusion, and Shipmonk.
What about Amazon MCF, multi-channel fulfillment?
That's an option too, but it has strict eligibility rules. It's currently US to US only, and it doesn't support headless storefronts.
Okay, so the digital side is relatively straightforward. But the physical migration moving the boxes seems terrifying.
It is the single most dangerous phase of the transition. The ultimate disaster is the handover window stockout.
It's like the opening scene of Raiders of the Lost Ark. You have to perfectly swap the bag of sand, your new 3PL, with the golden idol, which is your in-house stock. If you don't overlap your inventory perfectly, the giant boulder just crushes your business. Total stockout.
I love that analogy. And overlapping inventory is your ultimate safety net. Never, under any circumstances, put 100% of your stock on a truck and just hope the warehouse unloads it quickly.
So you keep stock at home to sell while the 3PL receives their batch.
Exactly. You pilot a subset of SKUs, test a small batch first, track their SLAs, their service level agreements against preset kill criteria, and absolutely know your exit terms before you start.
So what does this all mean? Let's summarize the mission. A 3PL is just a fixed cost service measured against your own variable time. Cost your own hours, honestly. And always get the postage markup and return fees in writing before you sign anything. Thank you so much for taking this deep dive with us today. But before we go, we have one final, slightly provocative thought for you to mull over.
Yeah, there's one unmentioned thread here. This entire break-even math relies heavily on the opportunity cost of the founder's time. The assumption is that if you are packing boxes, you're doing highly valuable digital tasks, marketing, copywriting, customer service.
Right.
But as AI and automation get exponentially better at doing all of those digital tasks for you, does the value of your opportunity cost drop?
Oh, wow.
Right? If AI does your marketing and writes your emails, does the pendulum swing back? Does having an AI digital team make turning to in-house fulfillment, handling that physical, custom unboxing, the smartest, most cost-effective play for the e-commerce founders of the future?
That is a brilliant paradox. If the bots are typing, maybe we should go back to taping. Keep questioning the math, keep adapting your models, and until next time, keep diving deep.